Hi there. Thank you so much for signing up for Double Your Putting Magic. I'm excited to connect with you in this way and answer some questions. So today I'm going to cover a little bit more about posture and a little bit more about the grip, because those are the two main things that we're covering this week. And I know this week probably has the most amount of content. And so feel free to kind of just work on your posture and your grip for this week, and then maybe come back to this section when you have a little bit more of the other things going for you. So again, those two things are going to be the most important things. But even so, I want to cover a little bit more about and answer some questions about the drills, and also about how to figure out if you're right or left eye dominant. I think this is a really key ingredient to always put your ball in the same spot, in relationship to your feet. That's always really key to your consistency. And let's see, I'm also going to talk a little bit about pushing and pulling putts. So, all right, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so one of the cool things about putting is that you can actually work on it at home. So I wanted to show you one other thing about the posture that might kind of help set you up. So before I even grab a club, so the easiest way to start with your putting, so I'd like to see the feet straight forward this time. So this is to minimize any movement in the lower body. Okay, from here, you are going to tilt from your hips and then bend your knees a little bit. Okay, now when your hands, let's start with your hands or arms next to your side like this, so you're nice and tall, okay, straight up, shoulder blades back, okay, and then from here you can actually put your hands together and then tilt forward, okay, and that's going to actually get you in a pretty good spot to get going, okay. And so one of the things with your hands is that you want to have them work against each other, okay. So the grip is going to be very neutral in a sense, like one hand isn't going to kind of twist over like this or steer it a little bit, okay. Instead, we want to have the hands be kind of 50-50, so they're working together, okay. So to do that, okay, so I'm going to just take my putter grip here. Again, I'm going to have my elbows to the side, okay, and then I'm just tilting forward, okay. And then now you can see here, I want to have the grip in the middle of my palm, not in my fingers, okay. So if I have it in my fingers, it's very easy to kind of get over like this, where I really actually want to have my hands more this way, okay. And again, that is to minimize any of this turning or twisting with the hands. We want to have the hands move more like this, okay. So from the side, it's going to look like this, okay. So, all right, okay, elbows to the side, nice and tall, shoulder blades back, and then just tilt and then bend a little bit in the knees, okay. That's going to get you in a good position and get the eyes over the ball. Okay, so that's one other way to get into a good posture. Okay, second thing I want to talk to you about is the gate drill. Okay, so I've set it up right here. Okay, so I have two blocks. Okay, now you want to, if this is tricky at first, you can make the gate a little bit bigger. Okay, but ideally you want to have, a pretty good, it shouldn't be too easy. Okay, and really this is to get back to hitting the same spot on your club each time. So if this is hard for you to repeat, this would be a great drill for you, because the putting stroke, you want to be able to repeat it, right? So if you are not able to do this between the blocks, this would be a great drill for you to get started on, okay? So from here, I'm setting up, and then from here, I'm going to try to hit that little toy, all right? And this drill is probably one of the easiest drills. It might look easy, right? But maybe it's not as easy as it looks. And work on trying to get, I don't know, like at least 5 in a row. Maybe you can hit that little or glass or something you can put right in front. And you only put like a couple of feet, something like this to start. Try to get at least 5 in a row, okay? And then you can move it out a little bit. If you go too far, you're probably gonna run into that your floor isn't absolutely even, right? So it's gonna have what's called break. So that means that, you know, you're gonna have to aim, let's say, a little bit right to actually hit the toy, okay? Or you might have to aim a little bit left to get to the toy. And so really keep it pretty close, because it's really about the shorter putts now to try to get that to be more repeatable, okay? So that would be the first one that I want to mention. All right, let's talk about if you are right or left eye dominant. So one of the way you can find out is to make a shape like this with your fingers. And then what you want to do is you want to zoom in onto an object that's farther away, okay? And then you do that really quickly, and then you close your right eye, okay? Now, if the object within your scope here, did it move? If it didn't, you are left eye dominant. If it moved, then you are right, okay? Now, why is this important in your golf, in your putting, okay? So one of the ways that when I was growing up was I was told to put my ball position, so where I put my ball in relationship to my feet, to always put it in the center, okay? Now, for some reason, that was really hard for me, and it always drifted to my left side, okay? That's my lead side, okay? So what ended up happening was I would practice putting it in the center, and then whenever I played, it drifted up over here, okay? And the reason that it was actually doing that was because I am left eye dominant, so I am much more comfortable seeing the ball to my left, okay? If you are right eye dominant, it might be much more comfortable to see it to your right, okay? And so if you're right eye dominant, you might actually be okay with putting the ball pretty much center, or just maybe just in front of the center. If you are a left eye dominant like I am, you might actually be really comfortable putting the ball much more over here, okay? So when I talk about trail side and lead side, so if I'm a right-handed player, okay, and I'm hitting this direction, okay, then this is my trail arm, okay, and this is my lead arm, okay? So the trail arm is going to be pretty close to my side in my putting stroke, okay? All right, so let's do a little bit of troubleshooting. So let's say that you're doing some of the drills that I talked about, and the ball's going a little too far to the right or a little bit too far to the left. So let's kind of troubleshoot a little bit to see what we can find out what's happening, okay? So before we do though, let's talk about some definitions. So let's see here. All right, so if I'm setting up and I'm trying to hit that little toy there, okay, and my ball's going this side, okay, that's called pushing, okay? And perhaps you could see that my lead arm here came out and away from my body, and it kind of twisted this hand a little bit, and that actually opened up the club face, okay? So that's called pushing. So that could happen, all right? So if you're doing that, you want to make sure that you kind of trying to keep that putter face low throughout the stroke, so it's not coming up too high, you know, when you're coming through it, okay? Let's say you're doing the opposite, so let's say you're pulling it, okay? So you're kind of turning it like this. So on this one, I'm actually closing the face too much, okay? So see how the club face is actually twisted a little bit too much like this, okay? So a good thing to do there is to kind of see, you want to see the club face pretty much going towards the toy there, okay? I don't want to excessively close it like this. That also means that this trail arm here generally has kind of done one of these numbers, okay? And that's really dicey now. So now I want to kind of focus on keeping that, again, putter head low and moving towards the target. So that's going to maybe look a little bit different on a longer putt, but when you have a short putt like this, that club face should really be going towards the target right here, Okay, so I hope that helps. Let's see, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. All right, have a great week.